What's up, my brilliant little boysenberries? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on The Daily Grind, we're gonna have a hopeful look at Warframe's future releases, everything from the new war down to the plains of Duviri. Now, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I absolutely need this on a personal level. As many of you guys know, I've been on a bit of a downward spiral with Warframe as of late. I don't feel like their most recent releases have really been well thought out. They just haven't hit the mark. I mean, we've seen it. They focus on things that don't really matter, like meme fodder. But when it comes to like the latest Nightwave and the event that came with it, the only thing we're rewarded is a sigil. I feel like if a little bit of work could have been taken away from the meme fodder and put it into something that was a little bit more meaningful, that would have made a lot more sense. And the only thing that I've truly really loved as of late is Goss. And he's basically a blatant ripoff of Anthem's Interceptor, which I already love to begin with, so I don't necessarily want to give them a win on that, but he is a whole lot of fun to use. So part of me was kind of in a little bit of a downward turn last night, and I was like, you know what, we need to not bathe in all of this negativity. We need to rise up and look at what is upcoming, right? Because we got to remember that life is a bit of a circle, and while we might be on a little bit of a downward swing when it comes to content right now, hopefully the newest releases will go ahead and launch us upwards into something far more pleasant. At least we can only hope. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the new war. I think this is the thing that I'm the most excited about. Now, I'm crossing my fingers that we get this sooner or later because we usually get a cinematic quest every year, so I'm hoping that this is going to be the cinematic quest for this year. And that's mainly because of the fact that they had mentioned in a previous dev stream that there was more to it than what we see. Now, in the past, they have shown off concept art of big, big sentient like spaceships, and they've shown off different kinds of tile sets. So I'm hoping that that's what they're taking a lot of time to build, that we're not just gonna get this kind of like big fight with sentient grandmama and killing the Lotus. Hopefully we can only hope, right? And we'll actually gain access to all of these different like sentient tile sets where we can fight new enemies on. They also mentioned the fact that there was going to be the sentient arm cannon, so I'm wondering how that all comes into play. Hopefully it's not the only thing that we get, that there are like more variations of it that we'll be able to build and earn, all of that kind of stuff. And also, in the previous installments of the cinematic quests, we tended to get something cool that kind of came along with it. Of course, in the second dream, we got access to the operators in the beginning of Focus. In the War Within, it actually went ahead and expanded on that. In the Sacrifice, we got Umbra, and we got some Umbra mods. So I'm kind of hoping that with the release of the new war, we'll get a new progression system, something that makes our operators stronger. And the reason that my like gears were turning on this was because of the fact that they came out with something like Umbral Echoes, right? Where we were supposed to be able to infuse our warframes with sentience. Now, of course, at least in my opinion, our operators are not strong enough to kind of make up for a fully powered warframe that we control, that use all of the abilities with, right? Like just having a warframe AI controlled like gun shooter is not going to be as good as like the full-on thing. So I'm wondering in my head if maybe there's something coming up with the new war where our operators become much more offensively feasible, so that would tie into the Umbral Echoes. We're like, okay, well, we don't feel so bad that our warframe is just shooting because our operator is on this big tear, demolishing enemies left, right, and center. So that is what I'm hoping for. You know, that's what I definitely like to see coming up in the future. But moving along from that, we have Empyrean. All right, I always have to preface Empyrean with this because I'm not super duper excited for it, just to be blunt. But remember when I thought Archwing was going to be shite? I really was not excited for that feature whatsoever, and I feel like I may be one of the few people that still fucking love the shit out of Archwing. Like, I love Archwing. I just wish that there were more game modes and more rewarding aspects of Archwing play so that I could play it and not feel like I'm just wasting time, being granted fun in the game, Like I said, we can't re-roll ribbons with fun. We can't forma our warframes with fun. I'm just saying. So, I'm kind of hoping that it's gonna be much better than I think it is. I'm really crossing my fingers. Now, the reason that I say that I'm not excited is because when it comes down to like mentality, I'm not the kind of person that enjoys flying from point A to point B. I don't care about that whole traversing. You know when you're like in an MMORPG and they like give you a horse and they're like, oh my god, you get to like gallop through the plains. I don't give a shit about gallop through the plains. Let me fast travel my ass to the next point of interest. I don't want to waste my time. Like Warframe for me is a very like you jump in and jump out, jump in and jump out. And when I look at Empyrean, I like flying through space. I'm like, ooh, pretty. I'm like, that's pretty. It's a really, really pretty thing to experience the first 2 or 3 times. But really, I'm not all that interested in the journey part. I want to fight, right? Now, the one thing that I am excited for when it comes to Empyrean is that it opens up the game to potential bigger threats, right? That's one of the things that people had stated when it comes down to Warframe and what it's lacking is we don't have these Avenger-sized threats that are like looming over our heads. We always feel very safe. I mean, even arbitrations, we got revives in arbitrations. That's how much we're being babied in the world of Warframe. So I'm thinking that if it opens up this potential massive threat that we need to fight that's actually really, really challenging, super duper excited for that. Also, like I stated earlier, I love the shit out of Warframe. Warframe? Archwing. Wow. Words are not working so well, but I do love the hell out of Archwing, and if this gets them to focus more on Archwing content that's rewarding, I am all about that. I'm really, really excited. And of course, modular Archwings. I want to see what arcanes we're going to be getting for those. See, look, I'm so excited. The words are like stuttering out of my mouth because I'm drooling for Archwing content. I'm just over lubricated in the oral area. But yeah, those are the things that I'm really, really excited about for Empyrean. And I also have to continuously put this out there into the universe. I want to be able to ram shit with my goddamn railjack. I just want to I want to take Gauss, like listen, the mechanics that you had with Gauss, let me use it like on a railjack level experience. I just want to boom right into a ship. I'm into it. Also, there was something, and I don't think that I've mentioned it in the video, but I probably said it on stream once or twice. DE Steven mentioned the fact that all of the people on our ships that were able to like hire, you know what I mean? That, you know, if combat happens, they're probably going to go run and hide. I was like, no. I want to hire big honking Grenier ladies from, from Steel Meridian. I want them to body slam enemies. I want to see them running up and just boom. That's what I want to see. In addition to that, I want loadouts. So listen, I'll build multiple Fragor Primes if I can just have a whole gang of people wielding hammers on the ship so that I can see them running up to enemies and just slamming them up against walls. That would make me excited, okay? That's what I would like to see in Empyrean. Now, moving on to something that is linked with Empyrean, that again, I'm not really excited about, is Squad Link. I want to say, you know, we'll see how this works. Maybe it'll be a lot cooler than it seems, but I'm going to say, who asked for this? Like, was anybody asking for Squad Link? I don't remember anybody asking for Squad Link, and I have to preface it with this, and I'm being skeptical, but I'm going to be hopeful at the same time, okay? When they show Squad Link off, they show it off in a dual screen setting. So they show you like, you know, you on the ship, and then it shows you people on the ground, right? It always has those 2 clips running simultaneously. Ooh, look at all of these things happening. But bitch, you ain't in 2 places at once. You're either on the ship or you're on the ground. So let's wipe away all of the illusion that we're seeing there, because if you're on the ship, it's probably going to be like a defense point where you're just sitting there in one spot, fighting off whatever enemies are coming, waiting for the people to do what they need to do on the ground. So you're just sitting there and waiting on your ship, right? And then the people on the ground, they just all of a sudden get a beacon. So isn't that basically just like an incursion or a bounty that happens on the plains? And I don't remember those being all that exciting. However, I guess it would be kind of cool because they're really focusing on this, like, we want to unify, you know, all of the things that are happening with Empyrean and everything that's happening with the plains and the Orvalis, because, you know, they've been referred to as kind of like the islands of Warframe. They're kind of like floating off by themselves, so they wanted to bring them together. And I mean, I guess it would be cool to be able to see people on your friends list, like if you got to see their names on your screen, like, you know, Jill, says, hey, come and help me. You know, or you see Mogamu's name on your screen. Oh, Mogamu needs help in his railjack or Life of Rio. Because, you know, Life of Rio is going to be riding around in a railjack, right? You get a nice little message from the USS Sharingan, and all of a sudden you got a Naruto run over to the new objective and take it on so that you can help a man out. I'm just saying. I know, we're not going to see that. But I would kind of pay to see that. I would be excited for that. So let's look at that as the positive term for Squad Link. Moving on to the Kuva lich. Okay. I'm really interested to see what this becomes, because this is, of course, a feature that was brought in from, I think it was the Shadow of Mordor, where you had that kind of rival enemy that, you know, would get more powerful if it killed you. This one's the actual opposite. It gets more powerful when you kill it, and it kind of evolves along with you. But a part of me is like, all right, so it evolves along with me. Does that mean that I evolve too? Am I going to gain some form of progression when I kill the Kuva lich? Or is it just like a new story point, maybe, that will help drive lore a little bit more? And if it does, like, what's the purpose? That's the big thing for me, is like, what is the purpose of the Kuva lich? Is he going to be a really, really difficult enemy to take on at some point? Because as far as they've said that, oh, we kill it and he gets stronger. We kill it and it gets stronger, right? So part of me is like, well, are we going to kill it at some point so many times that it becomes so strong that he's, like, really impossible to beat? Like I want to see things more fleshed out, but they did say that Kuva lich is going to be separate, a separate release from Empyrean, that it's not going to be a 100% tie-in with that. So part of me is like, all right, so like this could span the entire game, and it's probably not going to be released ASAP. It'll probably be a feature that comes out a little bit later, because at this point in time, I just feel like the whole Kuva lich thing is a little bit shoehorned in. I want to know its purpose. I feel like everything that DE does at this point needs to be thoughtful and purposeful. Like when you add it into their game, there has to be a reason to get it. There's got to be like, you know what I mean? Like if we kill it, what do we get? You know, how does it propel the game forward if we kill it? It can't just be like another enemy, like, oh, the G6, G3. Listen, it's the G something, comes into your mission and you kill it, and then you get like a blueprint and then that's it. Like there needs to be something more there. Otherwise, it's just like another mini boss that just is potentially a little bit more difficult. Moving on to the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the Plains of Duviri. Now, I get really excited about this one because this is the most nebulous of all of them, and maybe I'm excited because I'm putting my own excitement to what it could potentially be. And if I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think the DE 100% knows what it's gonna be. I'm just saying it. But they did always refer to the Plains of Duviri, or the Duviri Paradox, as a plane, Plane, not planes like Plains of Eidolon. So it's definitely another level of existence. It's the future, or maybe it's an alternate version. Like, I don't know exactly how all of this is going to play into each other, but of course, that is your operator that we are seeing. They have confirmed that. But what it really excites me from the fact that it is your operator is that abilities that you've earned in focus, they'll probably carry over in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they'll become more powerful. Maybe you as an operator, well, actually, they show you as powerless. So maybe that's not the greatest thing. We don't know. It does show that that your old self was able to leave things for your future self to go ahead and get your hands on. So I don't know if it's like crossing realities or something along those lines. Maybe you gain your power back because they did show the 10-0, what is it called? The 10, oh my god, the Zaraman 10-0 or something like that. You know, the ship that they were on. So maybe you revisit that and you gain your powers back in a more powerful manner. That's really something that I'm interested in, and I hope that DE finds a way to tie in everything that we've earned so far into the Plains of Duviri. And also they've got new weapons there too. So are those weapons, because clearly our operator was able to wield a shotgun, so does that mean that the weapons that they're showing off from the Plains of Duviri are going to be for our operators and not for our Warframes? I'm just saying. So I've got a lot of hope for the Plains of Duviri, and that's mainly because of the fact that they haven't released many details on it. Regardless, I'm very curious to see what you guys are the most excited about, because if I'm going to be honest with you, I need a little injection of positivity after some of the craziness I've been seeing as of late. But leave all of your feelings down in the comments below. What feature are you the most excited for? And in fact, leave me what you're most excited for and what you're least excited for, or what you wish that they would go ahead and employ. I also kind of skipped over the whole raids rethink because there's really no information on that, but maybe if you want to toss that down there, go ahead and feel free. But that is going to do it for me for now. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Listen, shit gets dark sometimes, and sometimes it's our own personal responsibility to dig ourselves out. Whether that means separating ourselves from the situation, or whether that means finding a positive twist on the negative situation. It's all up to you how you decide to handle it. This is the way that I'm doing it for now. Listen, not gonna be afraid to speak out on things in the future, but that is gonna do it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Also, that somebody that I'm telling you to love could also be yourself. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.